Have you ever wondered what the difference was between different lacquers? Well, no worries. We're going to find out today because today it's a lacquer battle! Howdy everybody, my name is Andrew King and we're here at Alamo Music. Don't forget to visit us at the website alamomusic.com where we're going to have all of these instruments and more available for purchase and your perusing. Today we're going to be looking at the SAS411, the SAS411C. Now, to any repeating viewers that I might have here, we are going to be looking at this instrument again. The SAS411C was the model that I reviewed previously, and it's a fantastic instrument. Just a long story short, the instrument plays great up and down. I think it's a great intermediate. I think intermediates are awesome. They are priced pretty high sometimes, but this Selmer USA model is a really good one for the price as far as making sure that it has everything that an improving player is going to want to need, right? So it has the nice fast action, the parts are good, the keys are really nice design, everything, and the ergonomics are also fantastic across the board. I think it fits really well with any of the really good intermediates across from Yamaha or any of the other brands. So I do recommend it wholeheartedly. The reason we're going to be looking at today is because I'm going to be answering the age-old question of, do lacquers matter? It's something that a lot of people kind of bring up in certain circumstances, and to some extent I do believe there is a difference, but it might not be the reason that you think. So when it comes to lacquers, there are tons of different options out there, and Selmer USA isn't the only ones doing it. Yamaha, Antigua Winds, Buffet, any of the other saxophone brands you can think of, like Cannonball, P. Marriott, Eastman, all of them, they all have different lacquer designs because it is a very personal thing to have. It's the aesthetic. It's what you want your saxophone to look at when you play it, and there's tons of different options out there. You can get them with black, with gold nickel. You can get them in a nice amber finish, which is getting popular lately. You can go for a nice copper finish, which has what the SAS411C has, which is for copper. Those are all fantastic. And so there is also kind of this purveying mythos about that kind of thing where it talks about how it dampens the tone, or maybe the lacquer, different material that the lacquer is made of makes it so that you can push out more, or it kind of interferes. I'll say this, from a realistic standpoint as far as pure playing and pure technicality, lacquer's not really a big deal. It really isn't. When it comes to different lacquers and whatnot, there's nothing really changing it. If I were to put one saxophone next to another and do a comparison, you wouldn't really be able to tell the difference between the two. So today we're going to do two comparisons. I'm going to play the original SAS411 and the SAS411C, and we're going to see if there's any big differences between the two and, talk about it. Get in the comments. What do you think will happen? Do you think there's going to be much of a difference? Let me know. Let's check it out. So, what did you guys think? I really enjoyed playing them. I think these are fantastic saxophones overall. Now, of course, I've already reviewed them, but just to be really nice with it, the saxophone overall feels great. The action's really good, especially all the way down. I really enjoyed the speed at which I can play and the accuracy. The ergonomics on it also are really friendly to my hands and personally. I think that I was able to get a really nice subtone on the bottom as well for both models. Nothing was getting in the way. I also can speak that the consistency in these instruments is also really good. These instruments weren't looked at by my tech after opening them up. We just got them. They feel great, and I was able to play full range all the way up and down, and it was perfect. I do think that these are great as far as talking about the instruments themselves. I do think that these are perfect for any advancing saxophone player that wants to get something better than the student model. There's tons of different ones available, but I think this one really takes the cake as far as having something that you can push super hard and it's not really going to get in the way overall. Of course, it's not a pro instrument, so it's not going to have a lot of the resonance that I would look for in that kind of instrument. But for a beginner or anyone that's like, going into late middle school, early high school, perfectly fine instrument. That's going to be great for what you're doing. Also, I think it's perfect for any kind of adult player. So if you're trying to get back in the saxophone and you don't want to spend that huge amount of money on, say, like a professional instrument, this thing's perfect. It's got everything you're going to want. It comes with tons of great accessories that the instrument's going to really prevail as far as a complete package. I think that's going to be really good for it. Now, as far as the lacquers themselves, didn't really notice a difference on my end. There's tons of different reasons why, and a lot of them are pretty true. One of the most prevailing things is maybe the lacquer will bring down or dampen the tone. That's not really a thing. I didn't notice any difference between the two. The two that I was playing on, the SAS411, comes with a classic lacquer finish that's really prominent in most of their saxophones, and then also the copper version, which is kind of like a red brass version of that saxophone, and both of them feel fantastic. I don't really see a big difference between the two as far as any kind of sound or anything like that. Any kind of discernible difference is all aesthetic. There's no sound, there's no technical aspects, all of it just plays great. Just a disclaimer, I am playing on a New York Meyer with a D'Addario Jazz Select 3S unfiled reed, and I do play with a jazz setup. So if you're playing on a classical version, I don't think you'd also feel any kind of big difference between the two, but not really a big deal. The big thing about this saxophone overall, or these two models in particular, is that I do think when it comes to lacquer finishes, you should definitely get something that you are going to enjoy playing, right? Saxophones are extremely personal instruments, and lacquer is a huge choice when it comes to that. It's something that represents you and what you're playing. And after working with guitars for so long, I've really learned to understand the fact that it really does matter what kind of look you want with the horn. And this can translate into a bunch of different things. Psychological reasoning behind why you would choose one instrument or another is as important as any kind of technical aspect, in my opinion. Because this is an instrument that you'll look at and you still want to play. This is an instrument that you'll see when you're taking photos with it or when you're practicing on it. It really keeps up the consistency, and that kind of thing is thrilling for a lot of players. Even so far as like showmanship, a lot of great players use a lot of those silver saxophones or black lacquer saxophones with gold keys, and they look awesome. And there's a reason why there's so many companies that are going for a whole different slew of different finishes and lacquers and body materials and whatnot. There's tons of reasons for it. So I can't recommend enough getting the one that looks cool to you. And any kind of psychological reason is just as important as any of those technical aspects like sound or whatnot. Now, as far as these two go, they're great. I totally recommend the SAS411 and the 411C and the other versions that they ever come out with. I believe they make a black one, which look awesome in my opinion. Well, thank you so much for watching. Go ahead, leave a comment. I want to hear what kind of lacquers you guys have played on. I really am interested in what everyone kind of started on, or what kind of second saxophone you got. I know a lot of people really went for like those like black ones with the gold keys. I had a band director that had that, and that was really cool. Well, thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.